We had a wild day in the market today. We're going to talk about some AI plays today and why they went up, why some went down, what occurred, what's causing all of this up and down movement of some of our favorite assets here. But before we get going, let's take a look at the economic calendar as well as the Fed Watch tool, because these are very important as to one of the reasons that we're seeing a lot of uptick in the general market overall. So today we had PPI come in. And PPI came in at 2.6 year over year, down from 3.1 in the previous report, right? Our core came in 2.8, which was 1.1 above the previous read, which was 2.7, and the month over month was 0.3, whereas the previous read was 0.6. So things are coming kind of in line, in some ways lower than others, but core is still being stubborn, which is the Fed's preferred benchmark, and I believe it's PCE that they're looking for, but whatever. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. CPI comes out. That's going to have an effect on the market. Like we saw a big move today that faded on a lot of assets, and we will watch for that to continue. Like if we get good CPI tomorrow, we should see that reignited and return back to highs tomorrow. And if it fades tomorrow as well, we'll know that there is not as much confidence even with that Fed rate cut coming, because it's coming. 92%. CME Watch tool, 92% for 0.25 basis point cut next Wednesday. So it's going to happen. October 29th is the meeting after that. And in that meeting, they are at 74.5% for another 0.25% cut further down, and 6% for 0.5. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 0.5 next week, depending on this the CPI read. If that comes in pretty light, we might actually get a 0.5, because with the jobs report coming out, jobs are suffering pretty bad. Now, I have seen some reports that like some of these jobs, if they never existed to begin with, which they may have never existed to begin with, then the economy is really not in that bad a shape. But seeing a number like that, the Fed will need to react to it in some way, whether those jobs were real or not. So that is yet to be seen, but they will need to respond. Anyways, so let's go take a look at the darling of the day. So, well, this really wasn't the darling of the day. That was NBIS. But I covered that this morning. I talked about how they made a $20 billion deal with Microsoft and popped 50% off of that. If you caught any of that NBIS move, comment the ticker down below. But this was off of basically Microsoft doubling their market cap overnight. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing hit a market cap in the hundreds of billions of dollars before long. So I am watching this one closely still. I'm looking to see if it breaks below the tail on that on yesterday's candle here. Let me go ahead and get rid of the Bollinger Bands. There we go. I'm looking to see if it holds this tail down here at $86. If it loses it, I'll be looking at about 76 to load up. Possibly as low as 65. If it goes any lower, though, than 63, I'm looking for a collapse back down into the 50s. And if we can get a closure above $97, we're definitely looking at 100, where it will struggle like it did today. And then from there, potentially even higher. So I would run a fib on this bad boy from the low here. Oh, I already did it. All right, so you can see 786, 76. That's where I'm looking. 76.50 is where I'm looking to. We're looking at 76.50 for a bounce, possibly $70, which is where the 786 sits right now. If we get any lower than that low there at 63.48, we're looking for a big dump. Above $97, we are opened up to 110, and above 110, 118 on NBIS there. This is causing sympathy plays out of core. We've got a nice sympathy bump out of that today, hit the top Bollinger Band, and then dropped immediately off of that. We are watching that. I'm looking at CoreWeave now that it's above this area right here, above 103. I'm looking at it to quickly go up to about 150. So I'm watching that very carefully. I think I might be taking some positions on that. If you're in the stalagmite level of the members section, you'll hear about that when it happens. But I'm looking at 146 to 150 pretty carefully on this one. It's looking about ready. If CPI comes in nice, we get those rate cuts next week. Like, yeah, we're ready to roll. So that was pretty good. And there, and on that, PLTR doing okay today as well. There was some hubbub in Poland last night. PLTR should be getting some money, or at least anticipate some money rolling in from that whole deal there. All right. Same with BBAI. BBAI, it's a defense AI company. Now, they didn't do so well today, necessarily, but I would be expecting sometime in the near future to see some more new contracts come rolling in for BBAI, as well as probably a lot of drone companies pretty soon. But yeah, this one's just been in this really tight drop and then consolidation. We get above $5.08. I'd be looking at this one to move very quickly back up to 7, 8, or even higher. It's really just one news catalyst away from 7, and one bad news catalyst away from 4. So keep that in mind when you're looking at BBAI. But this is a falling wedge, and it's starting to go sideways. Once it starts breaking above $5, we're looking at this thing to explode. But today it's going down, even though there has been some more hubbub on the front there with Russia. So I would expect there to be further investment and interest in this one going forward, since they are a defense-focused AI company. All right. Let's take a look at APLD. So this one was the one I'm very interested in today. APLD, I actually did entered a call option on this one today. Did very well. I also want to talk about Bitfarms, because Bitfarms did pretty well today as well. I don't know what is going on with my internet right now. Let me see here. What is happening to my internet? Why am I so slow? We're going to switch over here to something else in a second. Okay, so this was up 11% today, and we are looking at it to hit the 50, right? It hit the 50 and bounce once, twice. This is the third time. The next time it hits the 50, I think it might break it. But right now, we've hit it 3 times, and we've consistently made new local highs right after, right here. So we went flat here, right? That local high was at about 1096. When we hit the 50, we went up to $2 more at 12.20, so a little over 20% move. And then after that, we hit the 50, and we came up, went above much higher above that local high after earnings, and we went up to 17.58 off that, several dollars more than previously. And now we came back down to the 50 one more time in September, and we're getting that bounce. If we can close above that high, so we're looking at coming to that high. Okay, we're looking at least running for that high at 17.58. From there, we could run anywhere from like 20 to 30% higher than that, maybe even more. So I'm eyeing, actually after that, I'm eyeing $20, honestly. You can see the fib. Once we get above that, the next fib level is $20. I'm eyeing $20 on APLD once it gets above the previous high there. This is also a bit of a sympathy play for NBIS, because this is the hyperscaler's choice for data center expansion through APLD. They've got several contracts out there right now with hyperscalers, and with Microsoft opening up a $20 billion deal with NBIS for their inference. Guess where the anticipated data center capacity is going to come from? Probably a company like APLD. That's also why we saw big moves in IREN. We saw big moves in Hut, in Hive, in Wolf, and basically all the Bitcoin miners that also have HPC deals, especially those with big Mag 7 companies. They did exceptionally well today, including Bitfarms, BitF. BitF hit my target, actually pretty close to it. It went above 171, and I said if it sliced through that, it'd probably go pretty close to $2. It hit 186, which is just within pennies of this white line here, 191. So about 5 pennies off from where I had my line there, my alert to say, hey, probably sell this thing. So I actually took profit on half my contracts. So all my contracts, and that was over 100% profit. So all the contracts remaining are complete profit. So I'm just going to sit and let those ones ride. So that's going to be pretty exciting for Bitfarms. I knew as soon as it was done with the sideways action, it was going to explode. Very much like I am convinced that once CleanSpark, and to a certain extent as well Mara, once they're done with this sideways action, they're going to explode back to the highs. CleanSpark to 13-ish, maybe more. Mara back to 30-ish, maybe more. That's what I'm looking at. Sideways, boom. That's what I'm looking for. I'm watching for those to do that. We also saw Hut. I'm almost 200% profit on all of my Hut calls now. My only regret is not buying more. So I'm nearly at 200% profit on my Hut. I'm looking at Hut to at least touch this all-time high here. Not all-time. This local high here, and maybe go a little bit higher. We're looking at that. I'm also in Hive. I'm expecting Hive to move into the mid-4s here before too long. And I'm watching that very carefully. I'm also on Bitmine. I've also started entering SUI-G for the treasury companies, as well as Zone for treasury company as well. My internet is so incredibly slow right now. It's very frustrating. So that's kind of what's going on there. And I'm pretty excited about APLD. As long as these hyperscalers are getting in and adding to their capacity, adding orders to other companies. We're going to see companies like APLD, Hive, Hut, all those do very well. I do like APLD a lot. They're that pure play for data center. I like APLD. I've played the back and forth. I've done covered calls on them. I've done calls on them. I've owned shares. I like this company. Now, right now, I'd be a little bit worried if we go back to the 50. Right now, that would concern me a lot. But right now, I'm expecting it to at least hit that previous local high. And if it conquers that and closes a candle a daily above it and opens and has a daily candle completely detached above that, then I'm looking for 20 afterwards. To the downside, I'm looking at 1523 for a warning. Like this might deflate, and I'm looking at that 1376 to honestly to 1332 as like my ultimate, like I got to get out of this thing. It's going to go double top, maybe go way lower. Something bad happened, basically, if it goes back to that area. We also saw ARM did exceptionally well today. ARM is one of those ones that I've harped on for years that I keep wanting to buy but keep missing. They had a new generation of mobile chip design that came out today, so I'll be looking for it to hold this move or return back to about 143, and then I'm very interested in it as well. AMD is starting to come out of this dip here, so I'm watching AMD very closely. I do want to get my hands on some AMD. Surprisingly, Intel, also very interesting. It's got a pennant right there. It breaks that pennant. That could take it as high as $30, so I'm very interested in that as well. Let's see, ACMR, I think, is also one. Last one I want to look at. Oh, there's probably 2 or 3. ACMR, holding this. I like that it's holding this line here. I might need to adjust this a little bit, but it starts closing up around 28. I'm looking for it to go back to 32 without revisiting the lows, so I'm pretty excited about that too. HIMS, not doing nothing. Teradyne, this is one I think everybody needs to be aware of. Teradyne, they do they test semiconductors, right? They do semiconductor testing for manufacture. They also do have a robotics arm to their company as well. So the options on this aren't particularly good, so they don't really have very good options contracts, but I would probably buy shares on this one personally. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Always do your own research, come to your own conclusions. You're responsible for your own risk because investing is risky and you have to be prepared to lose it all. All right. Yeah, that's Teradyne. I like Teradyne a lot. I'm looking at this area right now for a pickup on this bad boy, possibly to see it go back up to like 140, 150, something like that. But it pains me that they don't have good options, because this one would be such a good options play right now for me personally, I think. I'm also watching Circle. Circle is very interesting as well, especially with the crypto cycle coming through. This is a stable coin. It had a falling wedge. It can get above like that 124. I'm looking for a move up to 150 easy, maybe even as much as 180 again from there. So watch the Circle as well. And if you're in Stalagmite, you'll get all those alerts when I make a move on any of these things. So anyways, that's all I've got for you this afternoon. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Check out our members section, especially that Stalagmite level, and have a profitable day.